I said, well, you could call the ARL. They have a drop box.
Yeah.
If it comes out, because she was like gonna go sleep in her car.
Yeah.
Like she was done, and I'm like, I don't have anywhere for this dog to go.
Yeah.
Like I really want to help you.
It's the worst feeling because you want to help. Like, this
I
person
do.
is down and out. Like, we get it, but like, I can't help you with that.
Oh my dog. Dog. Oh my dog.
Oh, my dog, hey.
Oh, my dog, hello.
We're back.
Back again.
And we're going to do a deep dive on a dog breed. We haven't done that in a hot minute.
No, but first we have some big news.
We do. So there is all of these things that float around and you say, you know, you're the best of whatever and blah, 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 blah. Most of it's kind
We're
of...
like top nonprofit on goodnonprofit.org.
Yes, we, great nonprofit. We got that
Great
status,
nonprofit.
which that's a legitimate status. Like, it's based on your positive reviews and stuff in the internet.
Right.
So,
Right.
so we've got that, and then of course we got like the Miranda Lambert thing. But now we found out we have been nominated for
The People's Choice Award for Des Moines.
Yes.
Yeah, I got a call the other day saying, congratulations, you've been nominated for Best Nonprofit in Des Moines. And then I went to meet them and talk about it. And we also were nominated for Best Place to Volunteer.
Yes. So we are going to start bothering people very soon because you can vote for us.
Yes.
And there's all kinds of categories, and you can go through the whole thing and like put in lots of things, or we'll have a link for you that we'll post on our social media and stuff where you can just go vote for like our two categories as well. So that'll be cool. We would like to be recognized. They put out a publication, so we get to have like our logo and a little bit about us, and they write a little article. And
Right.
the more exposure, the better. It saves dogs.
Well, that publication goes out to like 15,000 people in the metro, and then it's also put out as like a free magazine on,
You're waiting for your
waiting
mammogram.
tables and whatnot. So voting opens on April 23rd. It goes through May 7th.
Mhm.
And we are going to send out a specific link and a specific QR code that goes to our two specific nominations so you can vote for us. You can vote once per day per IP address.
Yes.
So if you got to work.
So every day at
and a
work,
home
every day at
computer.
home, every day on your drive home, like whatever you want. Well, I mean, before
All
you
the things.
Before you start driving, be safe. But yeah, we would love to be able to add that to our list of nods.
Accolades.
Yeah, accolades. That's the word I was looking for.
Well, it's not just for the clout. Of course, that is
I'm excited
nice.
about the backlinks because of my nerdness. It will get our website bumping up higher.
That too, but it also opens us up for fundraising and grants and things. So when you're recognized by those, it obviously bumps your application for grants to the top of the list or nearer the top of the list when you do all of the things that they want, like podcasts and Facebook pages and websites and,
Being the best.
being the best at everything.
No, we would really appreciate your support. So
But we also want our volunteers to be recognized too.
Yes, and feel proud about what they
without them.
built with us, and
And they deserve the recognition, and they deserve to, for people to recognize them, like when they're wearing their Oh My Dog shirts or their Oh My Dog Mafia jackets, and somebody recognizes them from the publication, like, oh,
I saw that. I know that logo.
I know that logo.
Yeah.
And tell me more about it. And then that's how you
Here we
grow
go.
your volunteer group, and that's how you get more fosters, and that's how you save more dogs. Like,
Yeah. Well, and I was just speaking with...
it's a seed that's going to grow into a big oak tree.
That's marketing. I was talking to I think she's on the board of another dog rescue, and they are a breed-specific rescue. And she was saying that they were having such a hard time, essentially since COVID, because they lost a lot of their volunteers when people went back to work. Like, they got a lot of fosters when people were stuck at home, and then they lost them all. I was like, well, we came after that, so I didn't really experience that. But she was just saying, like, how difficult it is to find volunteers, specifically fosters, that are, like, reliable. And I just thought, like, we've been so lucky because we've had very few, like, just crap fosters. Like, most of them have been, like, really amazing, and they have bought in, and they're helping us build this, and they're helping us save dog after dog. And even if they can't foster right now. Like we have some fosters who were balls to the wall a year ago, but have life in right now. And they're still trying to help in every way that they can because they understand the mission, they believe in it. And I'm like, I didn't want to tell her that it's not been horrible.
Right.
I'm like, it's actually kind of great because we built this community, but it's taken a lot of work too.
Yeah.
You know,
It takes a lot of group chats.
a lot of freaking group chats. Oh, Malance.
We love all of our group chats.
We do, except for when I like put
All 80
the
of
wrong
them.
thing in the wrong group chat, and I'm like, oh my god, never mind. I was talking to somebody else, and I accidentally clicked on the wrong thing. Like, look away. You know, you just look a little crazy for a minute, which we are, but.
Yeah, Tracy was like, I don't know how you do this. I'm like, well, the undiagnosed insanity helps, so.
ADHD.
Yeah, all the things.
All the D's. Yeah, so anyway, we chose to deep dive in this episode about the Airedale Terrier. If you listen to episode 49 that just came out last week, you'll hear that we took in 4 abandoned Airedale Terriers that were left together in a single crate after a livestock auction. And I realized we've never had an Airedale Terrier. Even back on our Fluffy Butts days, I've never had an Airedale Terrier in rescue.
I never recall one.
No. And when we were talking about it, it's like, well, certain breeds of dogs you just don't see pop up into rescue for a couple of reasons. One, they're not as universally popular. Like, people don't know what they are. They've never heard of the breed or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not as common, so they're more rare. Or people really freaking love that breed of dog and they stick with it. And they choose that breed of dog because they know what they're getting into.
Sure.
So probably by the time this comes out, these dogs will have homes, but we really want to make sure that when people are getting excited about an adorable little scruffy puppy, that they know what they're going to get into for the long run. And so we're going to share a lot of this intel. We might share our notes from this episode with our fosters just so that they know how to educate the adopters on what they're adopting.
When purebred dogs come into rescue, which it does happen more than people think.
Quite often, yeah.
You want to make sure that you place that breed in a appropriate home. So, for instance, like if a purebred border collie came into rescue, I'm not going to put that dog in an apartment in downtown Des Moines. Like,
probably not.
It's not.
Unless they're like a member of the Zoom room and they go every single day and they've got a whole situation. But
I'm
it's
not
going to be
saying
rare.
it can be done.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's not ideal. That's
Right.
a breed that has a specific job, that has specific instincts that just don't play well with, you know, downtown
Oh, yeah.
situations.
It would play well with my situation. I know that. Good
So
gravy.
when these came in, and I don't know much about them, I'm learning right along with all of you. I thought, well, we probably need to educate our fosters on this breed,
Yeah.
and make sure they know so that they're placing them in the appropriate home, because you know, this is a very large, it's the largest of the terrier breeds, and
Yes.
it's not a small dog. So
No, so typically
the puppies might look really cute.
they are very
they're gonna
cute.
get
I got
really
to
big.
snuggle one this weekend, and they are adorably intoxicating. But so the Airedale Terrier is called the King of the Terriers because if you watch like the Westminster Kennel Club dog show, you'll see all of the terriers lined up, and at the top of the list, the biggest one is the Airedale. Females are typically more like that 45-pound range, but males can be anywhere from like 50 to 60 pounds. They're a pretty decent-sized dog. Originally, if you know what an otter hound is, do you know what that is?
No.
That's why they're this wiry. An otter hound is like a hilarious dog breed. They are like kind of a hunting dog, I would say. I don't know. I haven't really done a ton of research on them, but back in the day, they mixed the Old English Black and Tan with the Otter Hound to create this terrier breed. And they're
look this up.
feisty. Oh, they're funny. They have like a beard, I think. if I
An
remember.
otter what?
Otter Hound.
Otter hound.
And I know you need to look this up because you don't know what an otter looks like. You do know. So one time, Holly out at her. Oh, look at them. Aren't they cute? Dum-dum.
I see the cross now.
Yes.
Otter
But one time
hound.
Holly had, well, right after she got her property where she's got a little pond and stuff, she goes, oh, I got an otter out there. And I was like,
It really, the
I
tail looked like an otter.
I said, an otter in Iowa?
In the water.
In the water? Like, I don't know.
They are in Iowa.
Not really. Like, that's pretty rare. Like, I've never seen an otter.
We just did a swap with frickin' Arkansas through the DNR like 2 years ago.
I know, but I have never seen one. I'm waiting for this swap to show up on my wildlife watch. Anyway, she ends up trapping this thing, and she sends me a picture. She's like, I got the otter, and I was like, cool, you got a muskrat.
It was a muskrat.
So I like to
but there are otters in Iowa.
There are. That was news to me. I read the whole articles too. But anyway, the otter hound mixed with this black and tan is how we ended up with the Airedale Terrier.
I see it now, though, the cross.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, makes sense.
But the beard...
I love the beard. I think it's hilarious. I wouldn't want one for me just because of like their energy level and like it being kind of a working dog, but
well, that's why I was a little concerned briefly because I'm like, wait a minute, this dog has like a purpose. Not that all dogs don't. I'm just saying the majority of dogs that come into rescue, like
my Shih Tzu
they're gonna
does not
fine.
have a purpose.
Right. Like
she's a lap dog, but there's that.
But these very well could have some prey drive.
Yep.
Like they're going to get rather large, 60 plus pounds. Life expectancy about the same of a German Shepherd. And then what are their normal ailments?
Yeah. Well, let's see.
But you follow your protocol here.
Oh,
what you got laid out.
I mean,
don't let me.
Keep asking questions and things. But so originally they were bred in the Valley of Yorkshire, England. So I don't know how Airedale come about. What does that even mean? Maybe it's just how they came up with it because of the two. I don't know. But they were.
It was originally bred in the Ayr Valley of Yorkshire.
Oh, there
England.
we go. Airedale. Got it.
There it is.
There we are. Helps if I can read the whole sentence together. But they were used.
I was just waiting for you to say that they were from the kingdom of Airedale, like Elsa and Anna.
Tell us that you have little girls without telling us you have little girls at home.
Who?
Frozen. Stupid movie.
Oh, the kids movie, the Disney movie.
When Frozen came out, I have a friend who's
definitely
like
haven't seen that one.
a Disney adult, and he goes, I've been waiting to ask you, what do you think of Frozen? And I said, I freaking hated it. And he's like, I knew you would say that.
Never seen it. Is it good?
It's terrible. I hated it. The little girls loved it. Cam loved it when she was little. She was about that age when it came out originally.
How do you feel about The Little Mermaid?
The new one or the old one?
There's a new one?
Yes, she's black.
Yes.
Okay.
It's the real person one. Little Mermaid teaches you not to trust.
I'm just trying to get your barometer.
I like Beauty and the Beast. Okay, that was my favorite.
Okay. All right.
I liked the Gaston and the dorky dad, and that she went off and had to show love to someone that had never seen it before, and it's the whole.
Wow, it doesn't take a therapist to crack that code. Yep. Jesus.
Yeah, it's the whole thing. I was really ruined by the Beauty and the Beast. It was my favorite. I'm still trying to figure out what breed of dog your next man is going to be. So I don't think it's going to be an Airedale.
Well,
though.
my favorite movie was The Rescuers. So.
Oh, I did love The Rescuers. The Rescuers Down Under specifically was a good one.
I like the first one better.
Well, I have a full
commemoration. CUE Rescue Aid Society. Hands held high, touch the sky. You mean everything to me. In a pinch, in a bind, call on us anytime. We'll be here.
Well, that really wraps it up too, doesn't it? Here we are, just trying to save the beasts.
You guys are going to get copyright infringement for how on pitch that was.
They're going to kick us off YouTube.
I love that song.
Yes, I do love that one. Bianca. Oh, she was the most fashionable little mouse. Yeah.
It says 13,
really, memories
13
unlocked.
steps on this ladder.
So as an adult, I came across those glasses that they would sell at, I don't know, McDonald's or whatever, and there was one from the Rescuers. So I have the entire set of the Rescuers glasses. So I've got even the crocodile and then the evil, whatever her name was, Madame, whatever. I've got all of their glasses. We don't use them because they're probably covered in lead, but...
Put me down, Brutus. Evan Rude.
I have an Evan Rude glass, too. Yes. So, well, yeah, there we go. We are the way we are because all we had to do when we were children was watch these VHS tapes of that we were meant to grow up and save
Yes.
things and make the world a better place.
What were we talking about?
I don't know.
Airedale.
Airedale Terriers. How did we get here? Jeez.
The Air Valley of Yorkshire, England.
Oh, here we go. The breed
Proceed.
was used by the military in World War I to carry messages, locate wounded soldiers, and it just because they were so loyal and very, very smart. So they could be trained to like do this task during the war, which is crazy. Like to tell a dog to do something when all of this chaos is happening around. That's pretty cool.
That seems like a big job. We need to do that podcast on the
On the
army dogs.
The army dogs, yeah. Stubby, I really want to. Was it Stubby? Yeah. So that's pretty cool history. Like size wise, like we said, like 40 to 65 pounds, about 20 to 23 inches tall. So
that
like
would be like female to male, right?
Mm-hmm.
Low end female 40, high end male 65.
Yep, exactly.
Yep.
And they have a really specific coat. It's very wiry. It is water resistant, and they have two kind of colorings. The colors that we got are what they call like a tan. What do they call it?
They look kind of red.
Yes, but it's like a reddish tan color, and then they can have like the coloring where they've got like this darker saddle on their back and then the darker on their tail. But the ones that we got are like the more all red version.
Red one,
Yeah, but there's two kind of coloring.
They remind me of a what is that breed that hunts the ducks, the pheasants? Wire hair.
Yeah.
They remind me of a wire.
A wire hair pointer.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're very.
With the
they got the beard
and the word water.
Yeah, they're just like the little old man looking of dogs.
Yeah.
But this man smokes a cherry pipe.
Okay.
If it were a
little
dog.
more sophisticated.
Yep. Yes, and they're very friendly, confident, but they can be over the top.
Question.
Yes.
Do they have to be groomed to look that way, or do they naturally look that way?
Well, they naturally look that way, but
because they got this really square face.
Yeah. So they have a very specific way of grooming them, which is called hand stripping. I made a section about that. We can scroll to it. What is hand stripping? Because a lot of times when people have these dogs, they don't think that they need to be groomed, but they actually do. It's a grooming technique used on certain breeds of dogs with like wiry and harsh coats where the dead outer coat, because they do shed, right? They've got a double coat to like protect them when they're going in water and things like that.
Okay.
It's the dead outer coat is removed literally by hand. And so they use like a comb in their hand and they literally go through the whole coat like piece by piece and pull out all of the dead fur to give them their kind of fresh coat. But as far as like the shape that you're seeing with like the beard and stuff, that is not cut that way. That's just grown.
That's just how it is.
Grows that way. Yeah. It is done specifically just to remove and kind of cut down on the shedding and matting that can happen with that double coat that's shedding into itself, you know?
So they do kind of have a high maintenance.
It's a really specific grooming thing that you have to do. It's not as often. It's not like a every 6 to 8 week situation, but at least once a year, you should probably take them in and get them hand stripped.
Got it.
So,
okay.
Which is interesting.
Never heard of that before.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. We actually had somebody comment on our post that said, I would love to hand strip those dogs. And I was like, you are a groomer nerd and no one knows what you're talking about. So I'm like, we need to talk about what that means.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like...
Add a link.
Yeah, it like sounds like something that's like, what is that? That are you like threatening those dogs' lives?
You're on a list now.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, how are they personality wise? Let's see. Very active,
outgoing,
enjoy a good amount of exercise, mental stimulation, outdoor activities, and benefit from regular walks, playtime, and tasks that engage their minds. So this is what I'm saying. Like this isn't
a couch potato dog.
No.
There is a shop in Valley Junction called Hinge. They have an Airedale Terrier, or two now maybe, but one that's in the shop, always used to be, might not be with us anymore because it was years ago when I first met that dog. And it was the first time I'd ever seen one in person. But that dog had been raised in that environment, and so he did great. Like he would meet all of the people that were coming into shop, and he had a job. He would greet them at the door. He would walk you through the store. It was so great. But not all of them are going to be like that if you don't raise them like to understand that like that's their like zone, you know. So we're lucky that we got these as puppies because you can give them an idea of
Desensitize them.
you can. Yeah.
But they're still going to have high energy. I mean, they're still going to be...
Ain't no rabbit going to be safe in your yard.
Right.
No. No.
Very intelligent, independent.
Mm-hmm.
Training requires patience, consistency, positive reinforcement.
Mm-hmm.
That seems pretty standard.
Yeah.
Brave, confident, friendly, loyal, good with children and other pets.
Yeah. Now, health condition-wise, generally they're a pretty robust breed. They're pretty healthy because they are kind of that mix of those two breeds, like down the line. But a lot of times, like larger breed dogs that kind of hit that 60-pound range, you're going to see issues like hip dysplasia, things like that. And because of that double coat, they will sometimes have skin issues, which is why that grooming is so important. If you're going to let that coat like shed into itself and you're not cleaning it properly, like their skin can get irritated. They can suffer from allergies and skin conditions and things like that.
Okay.
So just like any dog, like you just got to take good care of them and they'll be all right. They're not like, you know, when we talk about the Cavalier where it's like, well, most of them have heart conditions unless they're bred out of that. You know, there's nothing really super underlying. They're a pretty robust dog.
Excellent.
So
I think these are really important things to know.
yeah.
I mean, even as a foster, like if they were adults, that would be good to know.
Right.
I just think that the other breeds, like a German Shepherd, like everybody pretty much knows like the standards.
Right. Yeah.
But Airedale is so
they're
kind of
rare.
on the fringe.
You never see. They are on the fringe. You don't see them very often. You know, I don't know where you would even go to buy one if you wanted one. You know, you'd have to really research and probably drive a ways. Probably freaking Missouri. They probably got a breeder down there. But yeah, they've had a lot of jobs in the history of their lives. They can be hunting dogs, they can be search and rescue dogs, and like we said, they used to work in the military. But they need a job of some sort. Doesn't matter what it is. They're not deep ingrained to do one thing like a border collie is, but they need to have a task to do to feel fulfilled and not be bouncing off your walls because they can be very high energy.
Yeah. And I mean, this is anybody that's adopting a puppy. I don't care what breed it is, if it's a mutt or if it's a purebred Airedale.
It's a big commitment.
Like, I just want to make sure you're in this for the next, 12 to 20 years.
Right.
That's about the subset of it.
Yeah, honestly. Let's see.
You couldn't pay me to take a puppy right now.
No.
Not a chance.
Well, unless it was a hairless puppy. Then I might sign up for the trouble. But I really want an old hairless dog that has a slight skin condition.
She wants to rub the lotion on it.
I do. I want to help it.
Oh, man. Well, yeah, by the time this podcast airs, I'm sure those 4 will be long gone.
Yes.
But now you know.
Yeah. So a couple of famous Airedale Terriers. There's one named Laddie Boy, who was owned by President Warren G. Harding. It is at this very moment that I found out we had a U.S. president named Warren G. Harding. Did you know that?
Nope. Did you know, I just saw this this morning, actually, there are only 2 dogs remaining from the prior millennium.
Presidents?
No, dogs. Living dogs.
What?
There's one dog that was born in 1999. It's like the oldest living dog right now known.
Oh my god.
And then there's one other that was born in 2000. So it's technically the prior millennium.
I guess that's true. A 25-year-old dog would be freaking old.
Right.
Holy shit.
Those are the last 2.
I have a hard time like wrapping my brain around that. Like,
I did not fact check that, by the way. I'm just saying.
I believe that to be true.
I heard it.
I'm saying it's right here and there. Another famous dog owned by actor and Iowa native John Wayne.
Ooh.
His name was Duke, which obviously he named him Duke.
It was an Airedale?
It was an Airedale.
Really?
Yes. And
interesting.
Kitty, John Jacob Astor. Do you know who that is?
Sounds familiar.
From the Titanic.
Yes, that's it.
Yes. Kitty actually
I remember seeing that.
died on the Titanic.
I think I remember seeing those Airedales being walked. Remember in the movie.
Oh my gosh. Well, look it up. See if you can find the thing. But yeah, Kitty, John Jacob Astor had a dog named Kitty who actually sunk in the Titanic is on the ocean floor. Probably nothing now, but the other ones are much less recognizable, though I was pretty excited about that Jerry Hollowell of the Spice Girls owned an Airedale Terrier named Hugo. So that's pretty funny. But yeah, an Airedale went down on the Titanic. Which makes sense because of where they're from and everything. That would have been a dog that somebody might have owned.
For some reason, I am remembering that. I remember a deckhand walking like a pack of dogs.
Yeah.
In Titanic. Interesting.
Oh, yes. Oh, there is a scene. Yeah, in the 1997 film. There he is. It's a horrible picture of it, but yeah. Kitty makes a possible appearance in the Airedale Terrier dog running across the deck with an Afghan hound, a Bichon Frise, and I don't even know what that is. A name I can't pronounce. And Astor yells, "Release the hounds."
I'm going to have to go watch that movie on the 2 VHSs that it came on.
I know that very
Still
well because I watched those until they didn't work anymore. The number of times that I watched that film is unhealthy and also could be probably written into some sort of, I don't know.
What a great way to put an intermission into a VHS situation, though.
Yeah, it was good. It was the exact moment.
And how long is Titanic anyway?
3 hours, 14 minutes.
It is quite long.
My mom and I saw it in the theaters. This is not a joke or an exaggeration. My mother and I saw it in the theaters 7 times.
Wow.
Because there was a tiny theater in our little town, right outside of the town, and it played for 1 week, and we went every day.
Jesus.
I know. I was very obsessed. I don't know. Well, we really spiraled there, which is on brand.
Definitely.
Anyway, all of this to say, and one of the reasons we really wanted to dive into this is because when you see a cute, adorable puppy up for adoption, it really is important to do your research, understand what you're getting into, because even though they're sweet and darling and snuggly now, at 6 to 9 months, you're going to be questioning your life's choices. Puppies are difficult. It's a huge commitment.
And these dogs, as puppies, do not look like what they're going to look
At
like
all.
as adults.
No.
And frankly, I am not a fan of.
You don't like how they look grown
looks.
up.
No.
They're really cute now.
They look like a mutt puppy right now.
Yes.
They look like nothing right now.
But they're going to get a really specific... The shape of their body has this short curled tail that lends into this box-shaped head. It almost looks like a letter in the alphabet that isn't there.
To me, an Airedale person is like a Corgi person. Once
you're in, you're in.
Once you're in, that's your breed for life.
Yep.
Kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So...
Yeah, for sure.
Which I know people like that, but they're not looking right now, so I asked.
Oh, yeah. Well, a very cool breed of dog. I'm excited that we got to have them land in our lap just because we don't always get to see those, and it's nice to not have the constant same olds coming across our plates.
Well, I worry about what would have happened to them had
I know what would have
Natasha
happened
not
to
been
them.
there.
Yeah. They would have been picked up by somebody at that swap meet who was looking to make a buck, and they would have been bred for their whole lives and have...
The cycle would have continued.
It really would have continued.
Now we have 4 more dogs off the cycle being spayed or neutered.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So all of our puppies, when we get them when they're this young, they go home on a spay and neuter contract. And
so that's like a $2,000 find.
Yeah.
For Natasha. We just need to start giving her a budget line.
Go find abandoned kennels full of puppies, please. Well, and then today, she said, "Oh, somebody messaged me about an apartment full of golden retriever puppies." I was like, "Oh, okay, whatever."
Okay.
I said, "I don't want them, but do you? You do you." As you.
How do people just walk away from an apartment full of puppies?
I don't know.
How does that happen?
My very first dog, and it wasn't an apartment full of puppies, but my very first dog rescue that I did on my own was a Rottweiler who was tangled in a garden hose in a basement, and somebody just left him there. And the only reason he survived is because he could reach a toilet, and he was drinking out of the toilet.
Well, speaking of people leaving dogs, bat phone. What a shit show.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So we moved on from this. We've got a few kind of wild tales while we wrap this up that are completely unrelated, per usual.
This lady calls on the bat phone, and I don't even know how to explain it. She's on her way to go pick up her friend to load up all of her crap and put it in storage.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, she needs somewhere for her dogs to go. Anyway, the story unfolds as it always does.
But the unfolding was, I mean, we're going to put this in, right?
Piece by piece, if you want, yeah.
It's up to you. It's your voice on there.
I don't. So her friend's boyfriend got shot by the police
and killed
January 2nd.
During a domestic violence situation. He shot at the police. They then retaliated and killed him.
Right. And so
in Des Moines.
That happened January 2nd, and the call came in March 31st.
So for this entire time,
there's 5 pit bulls in this garage.
So we're not talking like a garage is attached to a house that might be heated and air conditioned. No. You know those rows of garages that are in apartment buildings? There's been 5 pit bulls living in a garage with no heat, no air conditioning, no windows, no human interaction from January until beginning of April.
Which frankly, before January.
Yeah. I mean, they've probably been out there longer, yeah.
Right. And I said, I just kind of took pause because I'm like,
What?
She
goes, we could probably take 1.
You want me to take 5
garage pit bulls right now?
Right now? Like today? Right now?
Yeah.
No. I don't even know. I don't know anyone. I don't know any rescue, any shelter, anything in the 250-mile radius that's going to be able to do that.
No.
Period. Full
Insane.
Stop.
So the boyfriend who was shot and killed was clearly breeding pit bulls, right? He was breeding those little pocket pitties, which we've got a few of them that come here and there. I've got one in my friggin' basement right now that, it's...
Hopefully not in a garden hose.
Definitely not tangled in a garden. I mean, who knows? She's kind of naughty. No, but... So the lady was like, I've been down there before, and the lady who was calling was the friend of this woman, who was the girlfriend of the guy who got killed. And she said, I am scared of pit bulls, which,
fair enough.
Whole nother conversation, especially if you've never experienced them. But especially if your only experience with pit bulls was somebody opens up a garage door and there's 5 snarling pit bulls out in all these kennels that have not been fed and who knows how long, have not been pottied, and who knows how long.
Right.
They're losing their minds, like, mentally because they've just been living in the dark, cold. Like, what? Of course you're afraid of them because they...
But my biggest thing was this lady's apartment lease was not being renewed for obvious reasons.
Her friend said that they had to patch the bullet holes so she could get her deposit back.
What? No shit. Not even lying.
This is a different life than what we lead.
And so I'm just like racking my brain. So I'm trying to not be...
You can hear Holly processing on the call. She goes, she goes, what can we do here?
I guess maybe what I would have done is called, I don't know, less than 12 hours before I needed placement. That would have been the ideal situation. So from January 2nd until March 31st, that's literally 3 months you had to figure this out. 3 months you had to figure out a place for these 5 dogs to go, whether they were all at once or one at a time. You had 90 days.
She honestly probably could have sold them one at a time.
Fine. I don't give a shit.
Don't care. Get them out of that garage.
90 days you had to figure this out. And your lease is up tomorrow. You have to get out today.
Yeah.
Somebody's coming to help you pack up your shit and put it in storage. And you have 5 dogs.
In a garage that no one knows about.
And 5 dogs. Okay, that's enough as it is. 5 pit bulls. That's a whole nother ball game, man.
Right.
And they're just calling like so nonchalantly like, yeah, can you come get them?
No.
Are you?
But honestly, it's very good that Holly took this phone call because I would have gone over there and just wanted to see it,
No.
And then we would have been in trouble.
Absolutely not. I said, well, the ARL has a drop box. And then then she was like, well, how are we going to get them there? I'm like, I really don't give a shit. You could have figured that out
Well,
30 days ago.
But you landed in the exact
I
answer
did.
that I would have landed into, which was
Call animal control.
This is a police matter at this point. These are
It should have been a police matter when they killed the dude.
Yeah. That was
They should have taken
evidence
those dogs
from the whole
then.
thing and all of the, those dogs should have been seized in January when all of that went down and the police were there. How did you have a freaking shootout where a man was killed and there were 5 pit bulls in the garage across the way and nobody freaking knew? How have there been 5 pit bulls that have been barking and crying for their lives? They're literally fighting for their lives in these kennels and nobody in the entire apartment complex has said anything for 4 freaking months? What kind of world are we living in that nobody has said anything at all?
Well,
or if they have said anything, that nothing's been done.
We never got the form. Shocker.
No, and we told them, like, fill out the form. We'll see what we can do, but also you need to call animal control. She said, okay, I'm going to call animal control right now. So I have to assume that animal control came and helped her.
Who knows what happened to those dogs. But.
Oh, God. I don't know.
So here's another eye-opening situation. When I stopped by Heaven... Clipper Doodaloo Breeze Salon, and Heaven helped me groom that dog today, another bat phone call came in, and it was a slightly similar situation. This woman had a 2-year-old blue-nosed pit bull. Her lease was up April 1st, and now she's living in a hotel, and she can't afford the pet deposit, and she has
nowhere to go, no plan.
Nowhere to go, and nor does she have any plan. Nor does she have any sort of sense of urgency to figure this out. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, so what's your long-term game plan here? Like, you're just going to...
Like, how can we help you?
Yeah, I said, I can't... Also, this pit bull is not good with other dogs.
Right, so we can't even take it and place it as a one-off.
Right.
Because we don't have anywhere to put it with no other dogs.
So I took this phone call in front of Heaven on speakerphone. Not to prove any point or anything. I just, thought, oh, here's an opportunity for another volunteer to witness what the shit that we hear.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, so what are you going to do? Like, is there, I said, I'm going to have a very hard time. It's nearly impossible to find a foster that can take a dog that's not good with other dogs, because 98% of our fosters have dogs. Mm-hmm. So I don't even know where I would send this dog.
Right. Like, I think right now we've got 3 dogs in rescue that are not good with other dogs. One is with me, who is in my basement, and she's fine. We're creating a rotate because I know how to do that. The other one is with one single person who luckily said yes when I begged her to help me. Mm-hmm. And the other one is with Rhonda, who is excellent at creating and rotating, and she knows what to do.
Right.
But that's rare.
Very rare.
And we're not going to be able to, we can't help you.
But I'm trying to be helpful.
Yeah.
Still, because of course we got referred by you know who. Mm-hmm. And I said, well, I could call the hotel management and, try to work something out with them. Like, discuss with them. Like the
hey, pet rent or something.
I'm with a rescue. I'm a rescue representative. Like, maybe that has some sort of pull. I don't know. Whatever.
Worth a shot.
Yeah. At what do we have to lose here?
Right.
If you have a plan, like, what is your plan? Or do you think are you working on housing? Do you think you have housing? Do you think you'll have housing by, like, the end of this week?
Are you going to live in day-by-day hotel for the rest of your life?
Yeah.
We don't know.
I mean, it's like $40 a day on your own, $70 a day with a dog. Which I also think the hotel management could have done something like a pet deposit, like paid
one time
every night,
or once a month,
ridiculous.
Maybe. Like, that's ridiculous. Yeah,
that's stupid. But also, if you don't have a game plan and you don't have any sort of sense of urgency, and there's kids just screaming in the background,
course there are.
Just screaming.
Yeah,
and I'm like, oh my God, this is not good. I said, well, you could call the ARL. They have a drop box.
Yeah.
If it comes out, because she was like gonna go sleep in her car.
Yeah.
Like, she was done, and I'm like, I don't have anywhere for this dog to go. Yeah. Like, I really want to help you.
It's the worst feeling because you want to help. Like, this person is down and out. Like, we get it, but like, I can't help you with that right now.
Where am I going to take this dog?
No.
And she's like, well, yeah, but they euthanize dogs, so I don't feel comfortable taking that dog there. I'm
so
like,
that dog living with you in your car.
Okay, so how long have you known that your lease was going to be up at April 1? Did you talk to your apartment manager about maybe extending your lease on a month-by-month basis? like we were talking on our last podcast, or 2 podcasts ago, 3 now, like, I don't mean to get all up in your business. I don't mean to ask prying questions about your shitty life choices. But also, like, what are you going to do?
I can't help you if you can't help yourself a little.
Exactly. Like,
or at least have some sort of wherewithal. It's a life lesson if nothing else.
If she had gotten on the phone and said, "Yeah, I have calls into this place and this place and this place, and I'm meeting with them tomorrow and then the day after that, and then that afternoon," and
we might have paid her pet deposit through the week.
Exactly. That's exactly right. I would have been like, you know what?
But with no plan.
If you've got a plan and we're talking about a week longer in a hotel before you're able to move into a place where you can keep your dog and your dog doesn't have to be relinquished at all, I'm here for that. But it sounded like she gave 0 shits about where tomorrow was going to land.
And I hate to make inferences, but I have to assume that her bigger concern was where her next high was coming from. You know, because when you find yourself in that situation, like, which is equally sad. I mean, that sucks. Like, when you've piddled your life away and now you're having to call around and look for someone to take your best friend. Like,
so I get off the phone with her and I look at Heaven and I'm like, hands up. I'm like, what do you do in that situation? I mean, she heard the whole thing and she's like, that is wild. She's like, people don't understand what it takes to own a pit bull. Like, you got to have insurance, like a $20,000 coverage. You need to make sure you have secure housing at all times. Da 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 da. If you want to own a pit bull, great, go for it. I love that for you. I don't have anything against pit bulls except for the type of owner that it seems to be a lure to. Like,
yeah. I mean, we have 3, and
they're all got issues.
Yeah.
Every single one of them.
But I'll have them for the rest of my life because I made that commitment and I knew what I was getting into. Like, I do.
But the rescue has,
yeah.
Well, Finn's a boxer.
But we've got Hippo. Kiwi is unadoptable. So there's that. So then it places that issue on other people because you haven't, like, planned for the decision that you've made. Let alone, obviously, these people have bigger problems than they have a dog that they can't handle.
Right.
Like,
but here we are at 9:00 at night, and I'm like, where is that dog right now?
I know. That's all we just want to know, like, that it's safe and that unfortunately there's nothing that we can do because. And here's the other thing: even if we did have a facility, that's why shelters have to euthanize at such a high rate, because you get these dogs that are not for everybody and people keep getting them and they keep making bad choices and then they end up in the shelters and they sit for a freaking year. And then is it better to just euthanize that dog and let them go than let them sit in a shelter for a year? Like,
quality of life, man.
It becomes a whole thing. So that's when I feel like maybe we don't want to have a facility because I don't want to have to, like, say no. You know what I mean?
I know.
So it's a constant problem. It's a constant cycle. And I am a huge...
But if you didn't know about it, it wouldn't be.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, now I know about it.
Yes.
So now I got to think about it.
So now I'm worried about the 5 pit bulls that are in the windowless garage.
Don't
and
ask
now
questions
the girl
you don't
that's
want answers to.
in her car, and we don't know what she did with that dog. And it's just a bunch of problems that you can't solve, and it does get taxing for sure. And I'm a huge pit bull advocate. I think that they're incredible dogs that deserve our work.
But we don't need any more of them.
But we can't take any more. We can't take any more.
Quit breeding them. It's like doodles. Quit breeding doodles. Quit breeding pit bulls.
Yeah. And for the God's sakes, do not breed pit bull doodles. We've had those too.
Freaking 5 years. Just take a 5-year break and let the rest of us catch up and get all of these dogs placed. Mm-hmm. And there's enough of them. Yeah. I promise you, there's enough of them.
There is plenty. Yeah, so it's very discouraging for sure. And again, another breed of dog that if you haven't researched what you're getting into and you don't have the appropriate environment for it, can go very south. And a lot what we've described here in these 2 scenarios have nothing against the dogs. These are just people that are crappy, that have made bad decisions, and now have put these dogs who are not easily placeable in an even worse position.
They're at a huge risk.
So then they're going to become a euthanasia risk, or they're going to be a bite risk if they land in the wrong hands, or whatever, you know?
There's 6 pit bulls right there in
2 phone calls.
In 2 phone calls, 6 pit bulls that likely ended up at the ARL that likely won't come out of there.
Mm-hmm.
And why? For no fault of their own.
Stupid people. Nothing they did wrong.
Nothing they did wrong. And nothing wrong with them.
No. Yeah.
Terrible.
So,
Terrible.
anyway.
Speaking of terrible people.
We have another one? Sorry. Oh my gosh. I'm going to end this thing on a bang. I clicked out of our notes. All right. This is my last, shittiest person. Should we have an award for this? Like the asshole of the week or something like that?
Right. But don't say the first line. Tell the story.
I'm going to do it at the end.
You're right.
Okay. All right. And I will let you know that I saw this on social media, realized that I grew up down the road from this man. I went to high school with his kids. And I will explain who he is at the very end. So this man, and I know the owner of the dogs in this situation as well.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So he's our age, and he went to school in the town just away from where I grew up. So we hung out with him and stuff. Man in my area, this is a post I'm reading to you that came off Facebook, shot and killed a 14-year-old senior hunting dog and an 8-month-old lab puppy with a 9mm and hollow point bullets a week ago.
Hollow point bullets. Those of you that are not
I don't know. Please tell me.
gun savvy.
I'm going to get more mad.
When you're loading for like shooting people, like a defense shot, you use hollow points.
Because you want him to kill?
It's much more destructive.
Oh.
You're not coming out of that. There's other points that you could use when you're doing target shooting or gun range stuff, or
This is like a self-defense
you
situation.
certainly wouldn't use a 9mm to shoot an animal. That's something like a 22 would be better suited if you were
just trying to clear them off your
protecting
property
your flock or whatever. Anyway, go on. But
Okay.
hollow points, that should give some sort of indication as to the armor level of this person.
Yep.
Go ahead.
That's probably accurate. They were on his property, and instead of maybe trying to coax them with a treat, he decided to shoot them both. They were both wearing bright orange collars with tags, as are shown in the picture that they posted. He was close enough to get under a car and shoot the 14-year-old dog so close that he could see the collar and know who the owner was and call them at 8 o'clock the next morning. He then called the owner, who lived down the road, and asked if he wanted to come get his dead dogs or if he should just throw them in his compost pile. He told the owner that the puppy was aggressive toward him. This is a 9-month-old lab puppy, who I know for a fact was not aggressive. Let's see. Now I lost my spot.
Aggressive toward
Which is a bunch of bull, because that dog was a big doofus, yes, who would have tripped over his own feet if you trying to get petted by you. He also said that they were chasing his livestock, but the fences are so high on his property, there's no way they would have gotten in there. The owner has cows, goats, geese, and cats. Neither one of the dogs have ever chased any of them. And I will say that later he said that they were not in the pens.
Right.
Before anyone goes there, yes, they were on someone else's property. You can do everything possible to keep dogs home, and sometimes they go on an adventure. I experienced this growing up on a farm. It just happens sometimes. We have underground fence all the way around our 4 acres, and yet my dog went on a walkabout a month ago because his battery died and I didn't realize it. This is from the dog's owner. He told me that he woke up at 4 a.m. to the dogs barking, and he looked outside and saw that the sheep were in the pens. He stuck his head out and couldn't decide if they were barking at the sheep or by his feed shed. He went to the house and grabbed his gun. He came back out, and he said that the puppy supposedly charged at him aggressively, and he shot him 2 times. He then yelled at Chance, the 14-year-old dog, to leave, but he wouldn't. He was hiding underneath a car because he said whatever they chased must have been under there.
Or because he just heard 2 shots.
Because his buddy just got freaking killed.
Right.
He yelled to Chance to leave, just effing leave, get the F out of there, and he wouldn't leave. So he crouched down and shot him 1 time under the car. The shooter called at 7:40. He missed the call. He listened to the voicemail, called him back. The shooter told the story. My friend asked if the sheep were okay, and he said the shooter never went out and checked yet, but he was getting ready to. Once the dog owner was there, the shooter said that the sheep looked fine, and he didn't think the dogs were in the pen. He thinks they were chasing cats by the feed shed. The owner said, I don't think they'd chase the cats because he had house cats and they sleep together. So there weren't cats? I don't know. That's when the shooter said that the tan dog, the puppy, was very aggressive. Okay.
Just a shitty person.
He's a bad human being.
Absolute shitty person.
Have known him my entire life, and everyone in that area knows that he is an arrogant asshole who acts first and thinks never. Okay?
That's true.
And here's what you need to know. And I'm saying this right now. I don't care who wants to come after me. This person is an elected state representative for the state of Iowa. He has been serving in the Senate and then the House of Representatives for my entire life. He has been a piece of shit since the first day he got elected, and he's a piece of shit today. And he's doing stuff like this and getting away with it because of who he is and his status. I don't care whether he's Republican or Democrat. He's a piece of shit, and he did all of this, and it has been spread everywhere, and no one's going to do anything about it. And when the folks in Calhoun County and in that region that he is in his district, go to vote again, I hope that you remember the type of person that you are putting into office time and time again, because he has done stuff like this over and over and over again. He is a piece of crap.
Yeah, my thing is he's just a piece of shit, period. You know, I don't care if he's a state representative or a barber. It doesn't matter to me. You're just a piece of shit.
Right.
I thought you were going to say pastor.
Whatever.
Oh, well, they're doing other things.
Other shitty things. Literally.
Yeah.
I just don't,
I like the call. I get it. I like the call out because we can knock him down by our choices. We can literally take away his career by the votes that we cast, and we know that we're electing people like this. And so if he gets elected again, the people of that district are knowingly electing someone who will crouch down under a car and shoot a 14-year-old terrified dog.
Right.
No.
The way that the post was made, it started out a local state representative in my area. So to me, like, you could have left that out and I would have thought the same thing about him. You could have put that as the last line and gotten across your point much better.
Right.
Like,
but I think what she
what I mean?
I do. I think there was twofold, but I think part of it was she was trying to say who it was without saying who it was, and immediately everybody knew who it was.
It doesn't matter if it's a mechanic or the Dollar General cashier.
Right.
It doesn't make it right.
Right.
No,
it doesn't. But anyway,
it just made it political from literally the first line.
It's true.
So then it's this is a shitty person because he's an elected official, and because of his party.
Yeah.
And obviously the owners of the dogs are of the opposite party. That's, to me, it makes the post seem like that's where the rub is at. That's not where the rub is at.
I'm not
sure. The rub is at this person shot dogs.
I'm going to be real honest. I think the owners of the dogs are not of the opposite party.
Oh, well.
Because we're talking about Calhoun County, and I grew up with these people.
That's true. Could be.
Yeah. But I think the point of it was essentially saying, like, you all know who this is, and the fact that everybody knew. And if you read the comments on Twitter, now X, and Facebook, and all of the things, there's not one person defending this man. So the thing that makes me mad is the only reason that he's getting elected over and over again is because people are just voting straight ticket.
Yeah.
And they're not paying attention to who they're picking out as a human being to represent them in our state. And that sucks.
Yeah.
But regardless, if you do shit like this and I found out about it, I'm going to talk about it because you cannot get away with doing this kind of crap and the world not be pissed off, because the world freaking loves dogs, and we love dogs a lot more than we love fucking assholes with 9mm hollow point bullets.
I just think he should be punished the same as anybody else.
Yep.
Which he should be punished.
At all, yeah.
Like, period.
Yeah.
He probably won't.
Nope. Nothing.
Because of the laws in the state of Iowa.
And they're on his property and whatever. Like,
which that is the ironic part. Because of the laws in the state of Iowa, which he could
is
change.
A literal lawmaker.
He's he's not going to get charged. So maybe that's where it is. But
there's a lot of depth there. But I mean,
when I was presented with the post,
it was by someone who had taken it to the political
it
realm.
was presented to me as, did you see that Republican representative shot that? I'm like, okay, well, I don't care what party he's with.
Yeah. What he did was terrible.
He could be Green Party for all I give a shit.
Yeah.
You're an asshole.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, and that's just the world that we live in at this point.
And that's where I'm at I'm frustrated with that whole thing, with all the politics and all the stuff. It's like, you know what? I'm not trying to be head in the sand, but also enough.
Yeah.
I can't do this.
How about we just
day in
be
and day
good
out.
humans and like do what's
You
right
know,
and
you
not
and
be
I-
assholes?
You and I are here doing good things every day, and we're doing what we can, and we're doing it the best way we can, and we're trying to make it better, and we're including other people that are like-minded doing good things. And that's all you can do. Is just keep being a good person and keep doing good things and making the world better. And if everybody did that,
the world would be better.
we don't need all this other bullshit.
It's true. I mean, honestly, we all have opinions politically one way or another, and we've just really chosen to like not be super boisterous about it because it doesn't matter. What we're doing is making change where we can physically make change incrementally, day by day, make change on one or two subjects that we know is really important to us and that we have control over. So what if everybody does that? Like, take your passion, make those incremental changes, and then eventually bigger changes will come because of those. And stand behind your morals and your beliefs and, be nice to freaking dogs.
Seriously. That's all. Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
I just keep doing good, keep being good, keep trying to be better.
Yep. We'll
That's all
figure
you
it
can
out.
do. Are we done?
Yeah, I think so.
Shit, we are done, aren't we?
Yeah. All right.
Nothing else?
No, I don't think so. We've dogged on some people. We've talked about some dogs. We've done our things.
Okay, so this is, don't forget, voting starts next Wednesday, the 23rd, for People's Choice Award for Des Moines.
You will find that link on this podcast notes. You'll find that link on our social media, and we'll also go ahead and place it on our website so you can find it easily and vote quickly and daily.
Yes, please vote for us.
Yes. All right.
And then we'll figure it out.
Oh my dog.
What I mean when I see, what I see, what I feel, when I dream, when I be, I'm a freak, what up? Oh, what up? Everybody look at me when I'm free, when I feel, what I see, when I do it, I'm a freak, what up? Oh, what up? Say what we got, it's hot to spot, give up the drop, see what we got, do what, we got to go, the body flow, too hot to show, the front row, we won't stop.